One of the things I want to talk about now, which doesn't necessarily get the respect it deserves, is the idea of go, no-go training. So if you ask any hitting coach that works with hitters, I think every coach on the planet would say getting a good pitch to hit is a prerequisite to becoming a good hitter. Now, depending on the level at which you play, good pitches get defined differently. If you're in the big leagues, good pitches require it to be across the 17 inches and you know, vertically appropriate. But when you're really young, a good pitch could be something entirely different. So getting a good pitch to hit becomes a priority to becoming a good hitter. Well, do we train that enough? And what I'm going to reference is this idea of go, no-go. There comes a point where you have to decide, do you want to move on a ball or do you not want to move on the ball? When we hit in cages and we do our tee work, when we hit off of pitching machines, and when we hit off of competent BP throwers, we're not really stressed with that decision. We go into swing mode is what I say. But we really need to challenge ourselves on that moment in time where we choose to swing, where we don't choose to swing. And at its most simplest reason, you just need to find batting practice pitchers or have live at-bats where you're forced to do that. Without that really, really authentic way of creating go, no-go, which of course would be at-bats, you have to recreate that in a cage environment. And if I'm working off of a tee and I'm by myself, it does create a challenge if I don't have a great imagination. If I have a great imagination, then I can get better just by visualizing that idea of a ball moving at me. So with respect to that, me and a tee alone, you know, it does require you to visualize the pitcher, visualize the pitch, and create those authentic takes. Now, if you have someone that can work with you, you can create more authentic takes by the manner in which you create soft toss. Now, you can do soft toss with a tee or you can remove the tee entirely. I sort of like to do it with a tee just because I let gravity create that hitting window. In other words, if I soft toss a guy a ball and I tell him, hey, I want impact made right here, if I toss him that ball, he does have a limited amount of time to respond. As the ball falls below it, it's effectively in the catcher's mitt and he's not successful. So simply training that go, no-go strategy, if you have a hitter in the batter's box, you can offer the pitch and then sometimes you can toss it and sometimes you don't toss it. But the idea is you want to toss it where they make contact 2 inches above the tee, and sometimes you won't toss it, and that of course is an easy no-go. Sometimes you'll toss it higher. You can toss it higher. For your beginning level hitters, any toss that would be higher might be a take. That would simulate a breaking ball if you want them to just be aware of it. The more evolved hitter, you might want to toss them a ball and say, hey, try to make contact 2 inches above the tee. And essentially what you're doing is you're saying, I want you to go, I just want you to realize that you're hitting an off-speed pitch. The point of this particular talk was simply recognizing that the act of hitting should always or often involve this idea of go or no-go as part of our decision making.